Our planet holds many secrets within its ancient lands. Deep beneath the soil, or hidden in dense jungles, lie the remnants of civilizations long past. These are the lost worlds, places where people once thrived, built great cities, and created unique cultures. We are drawn to these mysteries, like explorers venturing into uncharted territory. Why did these societies flourish? And perhaps more importantly, why did they disappear? The stories of these lost civilizations are not just tales of history. They are lessons etched into the very fabric of the earth itself, waiting for us to uncover them and understand their profound messages. The allure of a lost city, a forgotten people, sparks our imagination. We wonder about their daily lives, their beliefs, their triumphs, and their struggles. Archaeologists and historians dedicate their lives to piecing together these ancient puzzles. They sift through dust and debris, searching for clues: a piece of pottery, a crumbling wall, an ancient script. Each discovery, no matter how small, adds another fragment to the grand mosaic of human history. It helps us connect with those who came before us, to see our own world reflected in the echoes of their past, and to appreciate the long journey of humankind across millennia. These lost civilizations are more than just historical curiosities. They are testament to human ingenuity, resilience, and sometimes, our vulnerability. They show us how different peoples adapted to diverse environments, from scorching deserts to fertile river valleys. They reveal the incredible capacity of humans to create complex societies, art, and technology. But they also serve as solemn reminders. They remind us that even the mightiest civilizations can fade, that prosperity can be fleeting, and that the balance between humanity and nature is a delicate one, easily disturbed by forces both seen and unseen. Understanding these ancient worlds helps us understand ourselves. It provides a broader perspective on our own place in time. The challenges faced by these past societies, environmental change, resource management, social cohesion, often mirror the challenges we face today. By studying their successes and their failures, we can gain valuable insights. We can learn how geography shaped their destinies, for better or for worse. And perhaps, by listening carefully to the whispers of time, we can make wiser choices for our own future, ensuring our own story endures for generations yet to come. The Earth is a diverse tapestry of landscapes. Each feature, from a mighty river to a towering mountain range, plays a crucial role in shaping life. For early human societies, geography was not just a backdrop, it was the very foundation upon which their existence was built. Consider the great rivers of the world: the Nile, the Tigris, the Euphrates, the Indus, the Yellow River. These waterways were like lifelines, offering a constant supply of fresh water. This water was essential for drinking, for irrigating crops, and for supporting livestock, allowing communities to settle and grow. Rivers did more than just provide water, they also brought fertile soil. Each year, many rivers would flood their banks, depositing rich silt over the surrounding plains. This natural fertilizer renewed the land, making it incredibly productive for agriculture. People could grow an abundance of food, leading to surplus. This surplus, in turn, allowed some individuals to specialize in crafts, governance, or religion, rather than farming. This specialization was a key step in the development of complex societies and the rise of the first cities, bustling with activity and innovation. The riverbanks became cradles of civilization. Flat open plains and fertile valleys also offered significant advantages. They were easier to cultivate than steep, rocky terrains. They allowed for the easy movement of people and goods, fostering trade and communication between different settlements. These interactions helped spread ideas, technologies, and cultural practices, leading to further advancements. Large populations could be supported in these favorable regions, providing the manpower needed for ambitious projects like building temples, irrigation systems, or defensive walls. The very shape of the land encouraged growth and prosperity for those who settled in these welcoming environments, providing security and opportunity. Moreover, certain geographical features could offer natural protection. A settlement nestled within a ring of mountains, or on a high plateau, might be easier to defend from potential invaders. Coastlines with natural harbors encouraged maritime trade and fishing, bringing new resources and connections to the wider world. Even specific types of rock or mineral deposits found in a region could become valuable resources, driving economic activity and shaping the local culture. Geography, in these instances, acted as a benevolent guardian, providing the essential ingredients for a civilization to not just survive, but to truly flourish and leave its mark on history. While some landscapes nurture life, others present formidable challenges. The Earth is not always a gentle host. Vast deserts with their scorching heat and scarce water make agriculture nearly impossible. Nomadic lifestyles, following sparse rainfall and vegetation, might be the only way to survive in such arid expanses. Building large, permanent settlements in these conditions requires immense effort and ingenuity, often relying on distant water sources or cleverly designed water harvesting techniques. The desert's harshness limits population density and can isolate communities, making them vulnerable in times of scarcity or conflict. Towering mountain ranges with their steep slopes and freezing temperatures can also act as significant barriers. They can isolate communities, hindering trade, communication, and the spread of new ideas. Farming in mountainous regions is often difficult, restricted to small, terraced plots. Travel can be treacherous and slow. While mountains might offer some defensive advantages, they can also limit a society's ability to expand or to access resources found beyond the peaks. The very grandeur of these formations can translate into a life of hardship and limitation for the people who dwell in their shadows, testing their resilience daily. Dense, impenetrable jungles present their own set of difficulties. While rich in biodiversity, the thick canopy can block sunlight, making large-scale agriculture challenging. The soil in many tropical forests is surprisingly poor once the trees are cleared. Navigating these environments is difficult, and diseases carried by insects or other animals can be prevalent. Societies that did thrive in jungle environments often developed unique adaptations, relying on forest products, small-scale farming, and intricate knowledge of their surroundings. However, supporting very large centralized populations in such conditions was, and remains, a considerable feat. Furthermore, geographical isolation, whether caused by oceans, deserts, or mountains, can have profound consequences. While it might protect a society from external threats for a time, it can also lead to stagnation. Without the influx of new people, new technologies, or new ways of thinking, a civilization might become vulnerable to internal problems or sudden environmental shifts. The lack of diverse resources can also be a critical weakness. When the environment changes or a key resource is depleted, an isolated society may find it has nowhere to turn and no alternative means of survival, its fate sealed by the very land that once defined it. Ancient Egypt stands as one of history's most enduring and iconic civilizations. For millennia, it thrived along the banks of a single, extraordinary river, the Nile. This mighty waterway was the lifeblood of Egypt, a ribbon of green snaking through an otherwise barren desert. Each year, predictable summer floods inundated the river valley, depositing a thick layer of rich black silt. This natural fertilization made the land incredibly fertile, allowing Egyptian farmers to grow bountiful harvests of wheat, barley, and flax with relative ease. This agricultural abundance was the bedrock of Egyptian society. The Nile was more than just a source of fertile soil and water for crops. It was also Egypt's main highway. Boats sailed up and down the river, carrying goods, people, and ideas. This ease of transport unified the regions of Upper and Lower Egypt, fostering a cohesive culture and a centralized state. The river facilitated the movement of stone from quarries to build the colossal pyramids, temples, and statues that still inspire awe today. Without the Nile, these monumental construction projects, symbols of pharaonic power and religious devotion, would have been almost impossible to achieve, limiting the scale of their ambitions. The surrounding geography also played a crucial role in Egypt's longevity and security. To the east and west lay vast, inhospitable deserts, the eastern and western deserts. These acted as natural barriers, protecting Egypt from large-scale invasions for many centuries. To the south, cataracts or rocky rapids on the Nile made navigation difficult, further securing its southern frontier. This relative isolation allowed Egyptian culture to develop with a unique continuity, maintaining its traditions, religion, and artistic styles for thousands of years with remarkable consistency, creating a distinct and recognizable identity. However, even Egypt was not entirely immune to geographical constraints. While the Nile's floods were usually predictable, variations did occur. Years of unusually low floods could lead to famine and social unrest, while excessively high floods could destroy homes and infrastructure. The dependence on this single water source, though generally a blessing, also represented a point of vulnerability. Furthermore, the desert, while protective, also limited arable land, concentrating the population along the narrow river valley. This delicate balance, sustained for so long, shows how a civilization could thrive by adapting masterfully to its unique geographical setting. In the vast plains of what is now Pakistan and northwest India, another great ancient civilization once flourished. This was the Indus Valley Civilization, also known as the Harappan Civilization. It emerged around 3300 BCE, contemporaneously with ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. Its cities such as Mohenjo-daro and Harappa were marvels of urban planning, featuring sophisticated drainage systems, standardized brick sizes, and well-organized street grids. These people had a system of writing, though it remains undeciphered, adding to the mystery surrounding their lives and their eventual decline. The geography of the Indus region was key to its rise. Like Egypt with the Nile, the Indus Valley Civilization was nurtured by mighty rivers, primarily the Indus River and the now dried-up Ghaggar-Hakra River. These rivers provided the necessary water for extensive agriculture, supporting large urban populations. The fertile floodplains allowed for the cultivation of wheat, barley, cotton, and dates. Trade was also vital, with evidence suggesting connections to Mesopotamia and other distant lands. The rivers likely served as important trade routes, facilitating the exchange of goods and ideas across a wide area. The cities of the Indus Valley were remarkably advanced for their time. They displayed a level of civic organization that was, honestly, pretty unparalleled. Many houses had private wells and bathrooms connected to a comprehensive public drainage system. There is evidence of public baths, granaries for storing surplus food, and impressive dockyards, suggesting a well-managed and prosperous society. The uniformity in artifacts such as pottery and seals, across a vast geographical area, indicates a strong degree of cultural and possibly political integration. This suggests a society that had really mastered its environment to create a stable and ordered way of life for its citizens. Yet around 1900 BCE, this sophisticated civilization began to decline, and its cities were eventually abandoned. The exact reasons remain a subject of debate among scholars, but geography and environmental change likely played a significant role. Theories include shifts in river courses, possibly the drying up of the Ghaggar-Hakra River, which would have devastated agriculture. Prolonged drought, climate change leading to altered monsoon patterns, or even tectonic activity affecting water sources are also considered. Whatever the precise combination of factors, the Indus Valley Civilization serves as a stark reminder of how environmental instability can, undermine even the most advanced societies. In the arid landscapes of the American Southwest, specifically in regions like Chaco Canyon in present-day New Mexico, the ancestral Pueblo people created a remarkable civilization. Flourishing between roughly 850 and 1250 CE, they are renowned for their impressive stone architecture, including large multi-story structures known as great houses. These were sophisticated buildings, often aligned with astronomical events, displaying a deep understanding of their environment. They developed unique farming techniques to survive in a challenging dry climate, cultivating maize, beans, and squash, the three sisters of Native American agriculture. The geography of the Four Corners region, where Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah meet, is characterized by high deserts, deep canyons, and mesas. Water is a scarce and precious resource. The ancestral Puebloans adapted by building intricate irrigation systems, check dams, and reservoirs to capture and conserve rainwater and runoff. They often built their dwellings in alcoves high on cliff faces, like the famous Cliff Palace at Mesa Verde. These locations offered shelter from the elements and perhaps some measure of defense, showcasing their ingenuity in using the landscape to their advantage. Chaco Canyon itself appears to have been a major cultural and ceremonial center. The great houses there, such as Pueblo Bonito, were enormous structures containing hundreds of rooms. They were connected by an extensive network of roads, radiating outwards for many miles, suggesting a complex social and political organization linking various communities across the region. The construction of these monumental buildings and roads in such a demanding environment speaks volumes about their organizational skills, their communal effort, and their ability to harness available resources effectively, even if those resources were limited. However, by the late 13th century, the great houses of Chaco Canyon and other ancestral Pueblo sites were largely abandoned. Evidence points strongly towards environmental factors as a primary cause. A prolonged period of severe drought, known as the Great Drought, gripped the region from around 1276 to 1299 CE. This would have crippled their agricultural systems, leading to food shortages and social stress. Deforestation and soil erosion, perhaps exacerbated by population growth and intensive farming, may also have contributed to the decline. The ancestral Puebloans were forced to migrate to areas with more reliable water sources, leaving their magnificent canyon homes to the silence of the desert. Far out in the southeastern Pacific Ocean lies one of the most isolated inhabited islands on Earth, Rapa Nui, widely known as Easter Island. It is famous for its monumental statues called moai, enigmatic stone figures that stand as silent witnesses to a fascinating and cautionary tale. The Rapa Nui people, Polynesians who likely arrived on the island around 1200 CE, developed a complex society capable of carving, transporting and erecting these enormous statues, some weighing many tons. This achievement is all the more remarkable, given the island's limited resources and extreme isolation from the rest of the world. The initial geography of Rapa Nui was more hospitable than it appears today. Pollen analysis suggests the island was once covered in lush forests, including giant palm trees. These forests provided timber for building canoes for fishing, for constructing rollers and levers to move the moai, and for fuel. The fertile volcanic soil allowed for the cultivation of crops like sweet potatoes, taro, and sugarcane. The surrounding ocean, though not always calm, provided fish and other marine resources. For a time, the island's environment provided everything the Rapa Nui needed to develop their unique culture and embark on their ambitious statue-building endeavors. However, this small, isolated island ecosystem proved to be fragile. As the population grew and the construction of moai intensified, the demand for timber increased dramatically. Over centuries, the island was progressively deforested. Without trees, the soil eroded, washing into the sea and reducing agricultural productivity. The loss of timber also meant they could no longer build sturdy canoes for deep-sea fishing, limiting their access to an important food source. This ecological degradation, driven by human activity within a constrained geographical space, had severe consequences for the Rapa Nui society. The precise story of Rapa Nui's decline is complex and debated, but resource depletion, internal conflict over dwindling resources, and potential famine are widely considered key factors. The society that had achieved such artistic and engineering feats eventually faced collapse. The moai, once symbols of power and ancestral veneration, were in many cases toppled. Rapa Nui's story is a stark illustration of how unsustainable practices, in an isolated and limited geographical setting, can lead to environmental catastrophe and societal breakdown. A profound lesson about the delicate balance between human ambition and ecological limits. Beyond the immediate features of the land, such as rivers or mountains, the broader climate plays a profoundly influential role in the story of human civilizations. Climate is not static. It changes over time, sometimes gradually, sometimes quite abruptly. These shifts in temperature, rainfall patterns, and storm frequency can have dramatic impacts on the societies that depend upon it. A subtle change in average temperature can alter growing seasons, affect water availability, and fundamentally reshape the resources available to people. Prolonged droughts are a recurring theme in the decline of many ancient civilizations. We saw this with the ancestral Puebloans, and it is also implicated in the Akkadian Empire in Mesopotamia and the classic Maya civilization in Central America. When the rains fail year after year, agricultural systems collapse. Food becomes scarce, leading to malnutrition, social unrest, and the abandonment of settlements as people migrate in search of more hospitable lands. The intricate social and political structures built during times of plenty can quickly unravel under persistent environmental hardship. Conversely, periods of unusually cold or wet weather can also be detrimental. Sudden cold snaps could shorten growing seasons, leading to crop failures. Increased rainfall might cause devastating floods, destroying fields and settlements, or led to waterborne diseases. The Little Ice Age, a period of cooling from the 14th to 19th century, caused significant hardship in Europe and elsewhere, contributing to famines and societal stress. These climatic shifts were often beyond human control, powerful forces reshaping destinies. Understanding these past climate changes through ice core analysis, tree ring studies, and lake sediment examination reveals how vulnerable even sophisticated societies can be. It underscores the importance of adaptability and resilience. While ancient peoples could not predict these large-scale climatic shifts, their responses offer invaluable lessons. As our own planet faces significant climate change today, looking back at these historical precedents provides a sobering perspective on the challenges ahead. The stories of lost civilizations, etched into the landscapes they once inhabited, are more than just fascinating historical narratives. They are profound lessons about the intricate and often delicate relationship between humanity and the Earth. Geography in its many forms, the flow of rivers, the height of mountains, the aridity of deserts, the patterns of climate, has always been a silent but powerful shaper of human destiny. It has presented opportunities for growth and innovation, but it has also imposed limits and triggered crises that have led to the downfall of mighty empires and thriving cultures. By studying how geography influenced these past societies, we gain a deeper appreciation for the environmental foundations of our own world. The successes of civilizations like ancient Egypt, which masterfully harnessed the gifts of the Nile, show us the potential for sustainable adaptation. Conversely, the struggles of the ancestral Puebloans in the face of drought, or the Rapa Nui people on their depleted island, highlight the dire consequences of resource mismanagement and environmental degradation, especially within geographically constrained or sensitive environments. These are not just tales of what was, but reflections of what could be. Learning about geography and history together allows us to see broader patterns. We understand that civilizations are not isolated entities, but complex systems deeply intertwined with their physical surroundings. Environmental changes, whether slow or sudden, natural or human-induced, can have cascading effects on food security, social stability, and political power. Recognizing these connections helps us to interpret the past more fully and to appreciate the long-term forces that have shaped the human journey across continents and through millennia, offering context to our present condition. Ultimately, the wisdom gleaned from these ancient lands and lost worlds is timeless. It reminds us that we too are dependent on the health of our planet. The challenges of climate change, resource depletion, and environmental sustainability that we face today are not entirely new. They echo the challenges faced by those who came before us. By listening carefully to the Earth and to the stories it holds of civilizations past, we can learn crucial lessons in stewardship, adaptation, and foresight. This understanding is vital if we are to navigate our own complex future and build a world that can sustain generations yet to come.